What's going on there, everyone, and welcome back to the video from the Demon Overlord, another guide to miniatures. Now, I was going to throw these all as just one big giant lump, but I decided to separate them because technically they're two separate universes in a very grimdark setting. Yeah, we say grimdark, but in truth, I'm thinking Games Workshop is losing it. That's right, we're talking about some GW minis, and this is the next video in the installation of the Demon Overlord's Guide to Miniatures. So we're going to be talking about Age of Sigmar. We're going to talk about some of the only minis I have from Age of Sigmar. I have seen others. Trust me, I love being on Twitter. I love checking out other people's work and saying, hey man, that looks fantastic. Trust me, they look good. But then when you look at that, you sit there and go, ouch, that price is painful. Do I love my wallet, or do I want my wallet to jump out of my pocket, grab a buck knife, and slice me down and go, oh. Or if I have a wife or something like that, she takes out a freaking mace and beats me with it. Where it's like, no, honey, I'm sorry. Oh, $700 is worth the loss just for all of these. It's like, and now you got to paint them. Oh, God. Yeah, that's kind of the curse going on with any Games Workshop. Now, I'm not going to talk about Games Workshop stuff now because Sigmar it's Sigmar. It's always been what it is. Sigmar, unfortunately, got bastardized by Games Workshop because the end times for Age of Sigmar were just horrible. Like, we were talking about things like where Lord Kroak's army should have destroyed the chaos and everything with their great power, and they were just getting, you know, it was just a terrifying nightmare. And these were before, I think, before the whole end times. These were before. Now the Eternals have been remade. And I'm saying I don't like the new version of the Eternals. I know some people do. I actually like these versions of the Eternals because they're pretty cool, being these giant silk golden chatted warriors who have all the thunder elements and the electrical elements. They got those little scrolls like you have on Space Marines. They have the hammers. And plus, honestly, if you really wanted, you could give the hammerer guy's hammer to a Space Marine. Just say, now he's got like a war hammer or something. Or if you want to use them as for Grey Knight parts, you could. For Grey Knights, you could. I mean, you just got to do a little altercations. Maybe change the head to a Space Marine head. I mean, those would be some really big Space Marines, though. I just thought of that because these guys are a little bit beefier than Space Marine minis. That's another good thing, too. Now, Age of Sigmar, though. We're going to stay focused on Age of Sigmar. Now, let's talk about, like, what they have. I've seen a ton of stuff from Age of Sigmar on Twitter and in real life. I've seen so much stuff, like the demons. They're not, and don't get me wrong, GW has a lot of cool-looking models. Their models look really cool. Some of their lore stuff being so grimdark is awesome. I like that. But there's just one real problem, man. The ethics of the company and the price. Oh, man, the price. The economy of these things. They're apparently selling you gold. And what GW does, and like I said, I'm not going to go into the company too much. That I'll save that for the next video because I know I won't be able to hold back saying something. Or maybe I'll do a sit down. I don't know. We'll see. But so Sigmar, I love the fantasy feel of Sigmar. Sigmar basically replaced fantasy. We all know this. They replaced it. That's why they have more of the magic and the special stuff and the dragons and the griffins. And the orcs are kind of more like a, you know, savage race, like the orcs in D&D's mountain orcs. You know, they're savages. And, you know, that's what it is. And then you have the cool Seraphim, these awesome lizard people that are just whipping out deadly magic, ruling the jungles with an iron claw, and really mastering everything with their great Lord Kroak sitting on his throne going, bring it on. Feel the meteor storm. No, please. No, please, Lord Kroak. I don't want to die that way. Too bad. And it's just really cool. I love, like, how Age of Sigmar was going. Then the end times thing happened, and I was like, ugh. Like, I was listening to the lore of that, and I was like, oh, gosh. Yep, GW killed it. I'm like, they drove it into the ground. They jumped up and pile drive that thing into the grave by accident. Yeah, accident. I mean, they should have really, really ran that past a couple fans and actually cared for once what they were going to say because they needed it. That did not go well. But for miniature-wise, Sigmar minis, if you can get them for cheap, they make really good D&D fill-in minis or Pathfinder minis or Starfinder minis because, like, these guys can work in a lot of situations. You don't have to have them be just fantasy. You can throw these guys in a Starfinder game and have them be running around the galactic universe. And be like, you know, of course you're the game master, whatever it is for Starfinder, be all like, so what's your specialty? You look like an armored paladin-looking guy. It's like, yeah, my shield is an electric, like, phase shield. Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. And it's like, what about your hammer or your sword? It's like, electric phase sword, of course. I can phase through plasma and stuff with it. It's like, oh, dang. You know, and you can be like, yeah, I'm not even an actual person. I'm an electrical construct inside armor. Because you could just say, like, the Eternals, what they kind of are. And you're like, oh, dang. Like, wow. Impressive. Like, that's multi-purposeful. Like, you can use that for different games. Now, of course, It's not reciprocated. Like all Games Workshop. Death Kingdom, I assume you can use minis from other games and they don't care. I assume. Because you know what? Death Kingdom, I don't think has a bunch of ogres running around, but you can have them. And they don't complain, as far as I know. But when you do it to the GW thing, oh boy, you bring minis from anywhere else and people look at you and go, "You filthy plebeian, be gone." Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I actually like my money and I don't want to lose all of it and be owned by the GW whip. No, please, Daddy, no. The GW Daddy, give me a break. Never. It's like, oh, God. Yeah, sorry, I'm going off my tangent. I get distracted very easily. But it just makes me wonder why GW does this. They hurt their company by making minis that just so totally are not worth the price. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, these things are awesome. Like I said, awesome minis. I didn't really paint them because these were secondhand bought. I have never bought miniatures from a GW store. I have never gone into a GW store, went in, bought minis, because A, there are none around me, and I don't mind that, to be honest. I like regular game stores where they have them on the shelves. But I've looked at the price of those things, even the new Sigmar, and I go, whoa. And I go, I guess I have to choose. Do I ever want to have Sigmar, or do I want to ever have Space Marines? Now, I have a couple Space Marines. They'll be in a 40K video later for the guide to miniatures for the Demon Overlords. Don't worry, it's coming. The Emperor can get over himself. He gets pushed back. Get over it. But I gotta say, Sigmar is interesting to a point. It has its faults. It has its advantages. I like the older Sigmar a little bit more. Don't get me wrong, I saw the new Dragon Sigmar throughout there. Sigmar made some new dragons, and man, those look pretty good. I've seen people who got them and painted them either early or whatever, and I'm like, or different models that are painted by pros that Games Workshop goes through. And don't get me wrong, they look freaking sweet. I love my dragons. You got me with dragons. But I have no intention of buying them because, like I've said before with GW models, their plastic is very fragile many a time, and the sprues can sometimes be very hard to get off the actual sprue without almost cutting yourself. And sometimes it's just like... And there's just one more thing I can't stand. It's how Sigmar, being a world of fantasy, if I took a Griffin mini from D&D, being it's a Griffin, a standard Griffin, and set it on the board, it would be, ugh, get out of here. That Griffin is not from your company. It's like, no offense. This Griffin's WizKids Unpainted Griffin. I painted it my way, made the Blue Jay Griffin, and it looks goddamn awesome. What's your problem with it? Be gone, plebeian. And it's like, whatever, man. I'm out. You know, peace, man. I'm out. I would do that. I mean, I like to use these more though for like special guard paladins in a town. Like if I was in, say, a high-ranking D&D city, like I guess Waterdeep. Yeah, Waterdeep's actually a pretty big city. But I mean, if you want to go for something like a kingdom you've created, these guys would be like the elite of the elite gods. Like these are the guards you don't want to get caught by because these guys might clap them cheeks really quick and throw you in the dungeon after they're done whooping you down and beating you and teaching you a lesson. But like the orcs and stuff for the fantasy, they're a little bit more friendly for like using on D&D. So like I said, the fantasy version or Sigmar, they really are more friendly to use for other games. Like, because some of these like monsters and stuff they have, and these other beasts, and the warriors, and the barbarians, and I think the dwarves still exist too. And yeah, the dwarves still exist in Sigmar, I believe. I could be wrong. The Eldar and Sigmar look a lot more fantasy friendly. Like, you know, those would work great in the fantasy games such as Pathfinder or D&D, or even in Death Kingdom. I mean, if you threw one of these guys in Death Kingdom, all the other players would immediately look at you and go like, who is this golden god? He's so well armored. We're all in trash and he's in goddamn riches. What have we done? I mean, that would actually kind of sad for the rest of your players. They'll look at this golden Goliath walking around slaying monsters with his perfect weapons, perfect armor, and perfect hair under the helmet. It's like you only assume he takes the helmet off and he's goddamn gorgeous. Oh, I know, it's like getting off top again. But, you know, I really like this Sigmar. I like Sigmar. Now, like I said, I got these all secondhand. I have no intention of going to GW itself and buying because I like money. And I like getting a value for my money. I just don't see it in these for cost effective. So if I was going to... So in my guide to miniatures... Do I recommend these for any D&D player or anything like that? Probably not. If you can find it for a great deal on eBay, painted or still in the box or whatever, hey, that's your prerogative. You got that much money to spend, you're willing to because it's something you really want. Like, there's a specific Sigmar demon you want to get your hands on where you're like, oh man, he would just be so good as the end boss of my campaign. I need him before I get that far so I can work on him and get him done and then get him ready to go on that table and scare my players witless. Hey, go for it. Because don't get me wrong, some of these guys look really cool. They do have the grimdark feel. Some of these monsters and stuff, they definitely bring it, which is if you're trying to add that to your game, go for it. I mean, it works really well. We all know Warhammer's lost a lot of its grimdarkiness over the time, but it is what it is. Well, anyway, guys, that's about the end of the video for this one being a little bit shorter, as Sigmar is very simple. I don't know as much about it as 40K, only because like I don't watch a lot of the Sigmar lore and stuff like that or read into it. Plus, I don't play any really Warhammer. These minis are only so I can say I have Warhammer. Plus, like I said, I use them for D&D as like super-sized paladins. These are just like beefy guardsmen that are so strong that your group goes, okay, we steal nothing. Why? Because we don't want to get beat down by these big golden daddies who are all like, I smell trouble. Like, I smell thief. It's like, oh God, no, not me, golden daddy, please. And I don't mean the Emperor of Man. Get over it. Get over it, Warhammer fans who are probably like, how dare you? Yeah, whatever. Demon Overlord does what he wants. Anyway, guys, do subscribe to the channel if you enjoy. It helps out a lot. Make sure you put the bell notification to all so you're not missing out on any videos in the future or any of the other Guide to Miniatures. Also, make sure in this case you eternal smash the like button. Helps out me get my stuff past the YouTube algorithm and so more people can enjoy and it helps spread the channel. And make sure you share the video, guys, with your friends stuff. That way they can also check it out. And maybe they might have that idea. They go, I like what he's saying. Maybe this helps me choose that I might want to buy those minis. Or maybe I don't want to go down that road. Hey, I do what I can to help out. And if you have any comments, concerns, questions, ideas, or you just got any common thoughts you want to throw out there, go ahead, guys. I love reading your guys' comments. It gives me something to laugh at sometimes with some people's ideas, like when they're really funny, because they're like, oh, this would be funny. Hey, you're right, it would be. Or, you know, it's like, hey, here's an idea for you. Try this. I might go, I'll put that into consideration. Maybe I'll make a video on it. Maybe not. Worst I can say is no. But anyway, guys, hope to see you for the next video, the next part of the Demon Overlord's Guide to Miniatures. Have a great one. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.